Hello everyone and welcome back to Very Cold Lasagna, your filthy casual place for all the filthy casual takes on the world of sports. I am DylanLasagna and welcome back to another round of my weekly preview and picks for the 2022 NFL season. And man, this is going to be another wild week as we get closer and closer to the NFL playoffs in January, and it's mid-December. We're getting close to that Christmas slate of games down to the wire, and this weekend we have ourselves not just Thursday games, not just Sunday games, not just Monday games, but we got a Saturday triple header, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we got to have those Saturday games, pal. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting. This weekend, not only do you have games with playoff implications, but some of them have a bunch of divisional rivalry games, a large chunk of them on that Saturday aforementioned game. But yeah, these games are going to be big, and some teams will grab their spots. Other teams will be focusing on the offseason as they'll get eliminated. But the number one rule as you get closer and closer to the end of the season is to not get eliminated. So anyway, we kick things off before we get to the actual picks here. We kick things off with Week 15 on Thursday Night Football, only on Prime Video for $15 a month, as my San Francisco 49ers got that Thursday night treatment with Amazon Prime. But hey, they took care of their business. That strong San Francisco defense harassed and rattled Geno Smith all night long to help ease a not-so-healthy Brock Purdy. But hey, he overcome his injuries and his mistakes in his first real road test for some big plays as the Niners clinched the NFC West in a season sweep, their first one since 2011 over the Seattle Seahawks, 21-13. So good stuff there, and they can focus on grabbing that number 2 seed and get some help from the next team that I'm going to be talking about as we transition over to the actual picks, starting with the Saturday slate on NFL Network. The Indianapolis Colts at 4-1 take on the 10-3 Minnesota Vikings. So the Niners are definitely going to be paying attention to every single game with the Minnesota Vikings going forward as they take care of their own business. So going back to this game between the Colts and the Vikings, for the Colts, it's like the Final Four game audition for Jeff Saturday. Last time you saw the Colts, they got absolutely embarrassed. They had absolutely no business being in a Sunday Night Football game, even though it's the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't know why NBC and the NFL decided to put this game on national television for our terrible eyes to see. But anyway, this is Jeff Saturday's final stretch to try and be a permanent head coach. It's like his final audition. So, yeah, you can expect more Saturday on a Saturday. Meanwhile, for the Minnesota Vikings, they're looking to clinch the NFC North despite some very sus defense as of late. But that defense really has to help Kirk Cousins in the offense because it's not the offense's fault, to be honest with you. I'll take the Vikings to win the NFC North in what will probably be another tight game for Minnesota. The Baltimore Ravens at 9-4 take on the 5-8 Cleveland Browns. So for the Ravens, it looks like they're going to get Tyler Huntley for this game if he clears concussion protocol. If there aren't any more changes to at the time I'm making this picks. So either way, there's a lot of quarterback instability that's hurting Baltimore's outlook right now. And even with the quarterback instability, they really are inconsistent. J.K. Dobbins, though, kind of saved the day for them against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for the Browns, as Deshaun Watson's still trying to get up to speed for them, their defense really has to play a cleaner game if they want to pull off an upset. And, I'm going on a limb here picking the Cleveland Browns, considering that the Ravens are kind of an inconsistent bunch, especially at quarterback. So I'm going to take a little bit of risk here and pick the Browns to win this game. The Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills are in a big AFC East showdown to close out the Saturday slate. The Dolphins at 8-5, the Bills at 10-3. This is a must-win situation for both of these teams, especially the Dolphins. For the Dolphins, you got to win this game to stay in the hunt for the AFC East, and you get that season sweep over the Bills. For the Bills, you clinch a playoff spot if you win, and you essentially get an edge over the Dolphins in terms of the AFC East. So for Dolphins, this is kind of a bad time for your offense to regress at the worst time possible, especially considering your last two performances with Tua. It's not looking shaky. And you're going into a cold-ass environment in the snow. Minus 20 degrees was the weather forecast, so yikes. Not a really good time to pick your spots to like go downward in terms of like progress. Meanwhile, for Josh Allen, the Bills, the run game is looking good, but you would like to see something more positive for Josh Allen in the passing game. So, yeah, look, hopefully they go back to their aggressive roots. Hopefully they get something going. So I'm going with the Bills in this game. Going to the Sunday slate of games, starting with the early morning portion. The Atlanta Falcons at 5-8 take on the New Orleans Saints at 4-9. Both teams are coming off their bye. Honestly, I'm not really looking too much into this game, considering that neither of these teams are really into playoff position at this point. Even though they're kind of like deadlocked into the NFC South, which is very terrible. Arthur Smith finally giving the keys to rookie Desmond Ridder because Marcus Mariota is on IR, season ending, I believe. Meanwhile, for the New Orleans Saints, this is pretty much audition time for just about everybody on this team, as well as head coach Dennis Allen. So give me the New Orleans Saints in this one. The 5-8 Pittsburgh Steelers and the 5-8 Carolina Panthers clash head to head. There's a lot of changes going into this game because for the Steelers, they either have to turn to Mitch Trubisky or Mason Rudolph because Kenny Pickett is ruled as doubtful for this game. Is he still in the concussion protocol? As of this time, they're still waiting to see if he's cleared out of it. So, yeah, a lot of instability as well at the quarterback position for Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, for the Carolina Panthers, they're looking to keep pace with the Tampa Bay Bucks all of a sudden in a suddenly tight yet terrible NFC South race. So give me the Panthers in this game. The 12-1 Philadelphia Eagles take on the 3-10 Chicago Bears. This is the second game of a 3-game road trip for Philadelphia as the red-hot Jalen Hurts offense look to keep the momentum going in honestly what's essentially a tune-up game for the big Dallas game that's on the next Saturday. Meanwhile, for the Bears, Justin Fields still a solid quarterback, mostly using his legs this season. They're looking to play spoiler onto the Eagles' hold on that NFC East, but as you know, we're going with the Eagles in this one. The Kansas City Chiefs at 10-3 take on the 11-1 Houston Texans. I'm not sure why this is the nationally televised game. I don't know what the NFL is doing. Picking this game just because it's Patrick Mahomes doesn't mean that we have to suffer watching the Houston Texans for all the country to see. We know what's going to happen. They're going to dominate for like the first half, even though the secondary is kind of ass as of late. And they're going to switch it to another more interesting and competitive game, as the studio will say it. It's literally going to happen, guaranteed. So give me the Chiefs in this game. The Dallas Cowboys at 10-3 take on the 5-8 Jacksonville Jaguars, the all-elite Jaguars all of a sudden, because, yeah, they dominated the Tennessee Titans in their last game. And sure, they got their asses whooped by the Detroit Lions, but Trevor Lawrence and the offense actually has been doing pretty solid as of late, and they're all of a sudden making a run for Tennessee's money in the AFC South. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, they almost fell into a trap with the Houston Texans, and they're trying to avoid another one with the Jaguars. And this game could be as close as you think. And I'm gonna roll very, very cautiously with Dallas. The Detroit Lions at 6-7 take on the 7-6 New York Jets in a big game for their playoff hopes. On their opposite ends, the Lions facing their biggest test on defense, on both offense and defense. But for Jared Goff, it's definitely a big test in pursuit of their playoff spot. It definitely helps for them because, well, Seattle lost again, so they got to win this game. Meanwhile, for the Jets, Zach Wilson is expected to start again after Mike White wasn't cleared by team doctors for his rib injury. So, yeah, this is definitely a game that Zach Wilson has to win if he wants to remain a starter long-term for the New York Jets. So, Unfortunately, it's probably not going to be this game, so give me the Lions in this one. Going to the late afternoon portion slate of games, the Arizona Cardinals at 4-9 take on the 3-10 Denver Broncos. This is another battle of who can suck less between head coaches. And unfortunately for the Cardinals, though, man, what a killer for them. They lost quarterback Kyler Murray to a torn ACL in Week 14 against the Patriots. Meanwhile, for the Denver Broncos, though, I mean, I'm not sure if Russell Wilson is going to play because he got knocked out of the game with the concussion last week. But, I mean, you saw glimpses of what they could potentially do. It's just that they couldn't really get the ground running with it. So maybe they can do it this game against Arizona, who, despite having Colt McCoy, they could definitely establish something for next year. So give me the Denver Broncos in this game. The New England Patriots at 7-6 take on the Las Vegas Raiders at 5-8. Man, looks like the Patriots defense is gonna have to do it again for the middling offense of Mac Jones and whatever is left of that offense to another win. Meanwhile, this is a game for the Raiders that they have to win if they want to have any shot at the postseason, because, man, what a embarrassing loss that was to Baker Mayfield and the Rams on Thursday night. That was an absolutely winnable game, and they blew it. So, unfortunately, give me the Patriots in this one. The 7-6 Tennessee Titans take on the also 7-6 LA Chargers. And like I said before, the Titans suddenly in must-win mode with the Jaguars on their ass in the AFC South title hunt. Meanwhile, for Justin Herbert and the Chargers, they're looking to consistently build on their big game to keep their playoff hopes alive. And considering that Ryan Tannehill and that offense is not doing great, I think they will get it done in terms of the Chargers. So I'll go with them. I'll go with the Chargers in this game. The Cincinnati Bengals at 9-4 take on the 6-7 Tampa Bay Bucks. Joe Burrow in the offense, they've been, despite with the injuries at the receiver position, you can never count out that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase connection, and they've been stacking up wins. And they're deadlocked, tied in with the Baltimore Ravens with the AFC North lead. But the Ravens really struggling right now with the quarterback instability, and the Bengals are really getting red hot at the right time, and they're getting close to reclaiming the AFC North. If they keep winning these games, and this is a prime opportunity with the Bucks really struggling, coming off a very bad loss to my 49ers, and they're suddenly on the fringe of losing that division to Carolina. Yeah, of all teams. Yikes. So give me the Bengals to win this game between Joe Burrow and Tom Brady. Then the Sunday Night Football game, Week 15. This is a very big matchup for the NFC East, as the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders, both 7-5-1. Even though they don't technically lose, one or the other loses their playoff positioning, it's important for seeding at the end of the day, and a tiebreaker. But for the Giants, man, your flaws are really showing. If you keep losing these games, your playoff hopes are going to continue to go down, especially with Daniel Jones and the offense getting just exposed. With that, if they keep shutting down Saquon Barkley defensively. Meanwhile, for the Commanders, you're coming in well rested, armed and ready. Not sure if they'll have Chase Young ready to go. If he is, then that'll be a great boost for them. Even then, they'll still do pretty fine. Taylor Heineke always gives them a fighting chance, so I'll go with Washington in this game. Then the Monday Night Football game to close out Week 15, the LA Rams at 4-9 take on the Green Bay Packers at 5-8. The Rams' dreams of making the playoffs are essentially dead, even with Baker Mayfield. The Niners already won the NFC West, and there's too many teams in better position than them. Too many injuries. Sure, Baker Mayfield can give you a fighting chance to make the play, to try and make a run, but all it is at this point is just seeing if Baker Mayfield can give you some kind of opportunity on the Rams. Meanwhile, for the Packers, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you being this stubborn with Aaron Rodgers? Can you please see what you have in Jordan Love? Why are you trying to attempt to steal the last playoff spot in these last 4 games? It's not going to happen. It really isn't going to happen. Just see what you have in Jordan Love. But they're just that stubborn. Give me the Packers in this one. Then, yeah, that's pretty much it for your picks and your preview for Week 15. So those are my picks. Let me know how you feel about them. Are you going with me? Are you going against me? Let me know how you feel about them in this intriguing Week 15 of the 2022 season. So that is it for me. I'm DylanLasagna, signing out, and keep that lasagna very cold in the fridge with your takes on the world of sports. And enjoy Week 15, everyone. And until next time, peace out.